In this video, I'll show you how to solve the ALEKS problem called finding the magnitude and direction of a vector given its graph. Let's start by finding the magnitude of the vector. The magnitude is just the length of the vector. So we're just going to find the length of this. We're going to do that using the Pythagorean theorem. And I'm just going to sketch in the other sides of the triangle that we want to visualize when we're solving for the magnitude of this vector. We've got the units here on the x and y axes to help us find the side lengths of the triangle. We've got a side length of 4, and then we've got a side length of 6, and we're just trying to figure out the length of this side right there. Using Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the two shorter sides, and c is the longer side. 4 squared is 16, 6 squared is 36, and that is equal to c squared. 16 plus 36 is 52, which is equal to c squared. We're going to take the square root of both sides. The square root of 52 equals c, and we do need to actually calculate that out. We're not going to be able to enter in the square root of 52 as the magnitude of this vector. So let's use the calculator. ALEKS wants this to 2 decimal places, so my vector has a magnitude of 7.21. I do want to let you know that a magnitude is just describing the length of the vector. It doesn't have a direction associated with it. So the magnitude of the vector is always going to be a positive number. You're never going to be expressing it as a negative number, no matter which direction that vector happens to be pointing. So now let's move on to calculating the angle theta. To do that, we're going to be using our trigonometric relationships, sine, cosine, and tangent. Just as a reminder, SOHCAHTOA is the trick that we use to help us remember the relationship between sine, cosine, tangent, and the side lengths of a triangle. For our angle theta, the opposite side of theta is the side that has a length of 6. Of these remaining two sides, 4 being the shorter side is our adjacent side, and that relationship comes from the tangent. The tangent of angle theta is equal to the opposite side length, which is 6, divided by the adjacent side length, which is 4. To solve for theta, we're going to take the inverse tan or the arctan of 6 over 4. That in your calculator could be the tangent to the -1 button. It could be the arctan button. Both of those represent the same thing. Or on my calculator, it just says atan, not even arctan. So we're going to go to my calculator, pull up my button says atan, but when I click on it, it says arctan 6 over 4. And that is, our theta is 56.31 degrees. I do want to also always want to remind you when you're doing these calculations, whenever you're doing angle calculations in your calculator, make sure that your calculator is in degrees. If that's the unit of measurement for the angle, make sure it's in degrees and not in radians.